these issues. We now move to our next story, and US President Donald Trump has given his total endorsement of Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi ahead of a national election in Japan on February the 8th, and said that he would meet Sanae Takaichi at the White House on March the 19th. According to reports, Takaichi is seeking a public mandate for spending plans that have rattled investors and a defense build-up that could further strain relations with China. Joining us now to discuss this development is Collins Chong-Yu-Keat, a foreign affairs, security and strategy analyst. He joins us live from Kuala Lumpur. Thank you very much, Collins. It's great to talk to you. How unusual is it for a US president to back a foreign leader like Donald Trump is doing here with Takaichi?
Well, Takaichi is certainly favored, especially by Trump. He's viewed in Trump circles as Japan's most hawkish and distinct leader in terms of defending the interests of Japan, standing up to China, focusing on sovereignty and national interests of Japan, and also aligning with the core interests and tenets of the U.S. foreign policy. And of course, also Takaichi fits deeply into Trump's Indo-Pacific doctrine in terms of also advocating the readiness for the Takaichi administration to expand or to heighten the defense spending of Japan beyond the 2% trajectory, and also the willingness to also revisit the constitutional revision of Japan, and the readiness, also the capacity to expand the self-defense of Japan in terms of missile deterrence and counter-strike capabilities. All this align deeply with Trump's vision in terms of ensuring allies, including Japan, to sustain itself, and of course also to be self-reliant in terms of military spending, and not to be a free rider, and not to also piggyback on the US security umbrella without increasing its own self-defense and self-deterrence capacity. So, and of course the readiness by Takaichi also to stand out strongly against Beijing. We have seen that for the past couple of months now, and this backing will certainly revitalize this conservative base of Takaichi, and also as a pulling factor in terms of expanding the support system, but also the risk of this being seen as a pretext by Takaichi's opposition of accusing Takaichi of being being ever so close to the U.S. and this overt U.S. influence on Japanese politics. But I see that as a needed boost for Takaichi, and I know Takaichi victory will also deepen Japan-U.S. integration, and of course to also send a very strong message to China that this long-held alliance will stand strong, to strengthen also the Quad coordination, but more importantly also the readiness by both Japan and Washington to defend the core needs of both powers, including also on the issue of Taiwan, and certainly defending the core interests of Japan as a whole.
Could Donald Trump's endorsement help or hurt Takaichi domestically? What's the US president's popularity in Tokyo right now?
Well, I see that as an added advantage for Takaichi, although we have seen pockets of growing resistance, in terms of the movement by the opposition to portray the whole notion of the ties with the US, especially with President Trump, as one that is that's where Japan should treat warily. But as I've stated, the initial ratings for Takaichi have been high, and we have seen some downturn in that lately, but I'm not too worried. We have seen how after years of alignment with status quo policies, and Takaichi has been bold and has been assertive enough to change the equation, and readiness also, and being unapologetic to defend the needs and interests of Japan as a whole, where it needs to be. And of course also this is only being able to be executed smoothly with the everlasting alliance with the US in terms of security support, and President Trump has also been quite supportive in that sense, even with Takaichi's predecessors, especially with the late Shinzo Abe. So I don't see any downturn in terms of the acceptance of the majority of the Japanese people, especially among the conservative base, on the stance of President Trump. And on hindsight, I think this is going to boost Takaichi's stance, of course with her conservative base, but also with regards to the needed parallel boost to ensure that Japan is standing strong against the future risks not only from China, but especially also from North Korea. And this is how the voters will see that only a strong alliance with the US will ensure that Japan is safe in that way.
Okay, Collins, do stay with us as we moved from East to Southeast Asia for our next story. Thailand heads into a snap general election with a